Give Claude two different people. One person uses it to make a nicer email. The other uses it to redesign how their business operates. The same tool are just a completely different outcome. And I think the gap is about to become one of the biggest advantages in business over the next decade, because most people are still using Claude like a glorified search engine. They ask it a random question, they get a random answer. Maybe save 5 minutes here and there. And then they conclude, yeah, AI, it's okay, but not a game changer. Useful. That's like buying a private jet and then using it as a garden shed. Because Claude is not just a chatbot, it's a thinking tool, a workflow, a memory system, a research assistant, an execution partner. And in some cases, it can feel like hiring an incredibly smart employee for 20 quid a month. So in this video, I want to show you the 5 shifts that are going to basically separate someone using Claude averagely and someone who's going to be extraordinary with it. Not prompt hacks, not secret commands, just 5 mindset shifts that completely change how you work with AI. This is probably the biggest mistake that I see. People ask Claude questions. Power users assign jobs. Those are completely different things. Asking, write me a LinkedIn post, that's a question. Saying, I help service businesses reduce operational chaos with AI. My audience is overwhelmed by repetitive work and skeptical of buzzwords. Help me write something practical and conversational. That's a job. See the difference? One is basically saying, surprise me. The other one is saying, here's the mission. Think about how you brief a new employee. You wouldn't just walk up to them and say, do marketing. You'd explain the audience, the goals, the tone, what success looks like, what to avoid. Claude is exactly the same. The quality of its outputs is usually a reflection of the quality of your briefing. And honestly, this one shift alone will probably put you ahead of most people, because most people are not directing Claude, they're interrogating it. And those are completely different relationships. Imagine hiring a new employee. Every single morning they walk into the office, and every single day you have to explain who your customers are, what your company does, how you communicate, what your products are, what your values are, how you like things done. That would be exhausting. Yet that's exactly how most people are using Claude and AI now. Every conversation is starting from zero. Power users do not do that. They will create context. Projects are probably one of the most underused parts of Claude right now. Think of projects like giving Claude a memory. You teach it who you are, what your business does, who you help, how you write, what you hate, what you care about. Now, every conversation becomes smarter because Claude already understands your world. This is honestly one of the biggest upgrades that I've personally made. I have different projects for content, for strategy, for YouTube, for business operations, for research, because using AI to plan a holiday is completely different from using it to plan a company strategy. And I do both, right? Different context, different instructions, different expectations. And once you stop restarting every single conversation from scratch, Claude starts to feel much less like a software and much more like a real assistant. And I think that's where people underestimate Claude the most, because beginners use Claude for output. Power users use it for thinking. And that sounds very basic. It isn't. Output is write this, summarize this, generate this. Thinking is going to be challenge this, stress test this, simplify this. What am I missing? That's a completely different use case. And honestly, I use Claude more for organizing my thoughts than I do even creating things most of the time. Because business owners are usually, right, they have too much information in their heads. You've got projects, you've got ideas, you've got problems, you've got decisions, you've got worries, you've got opportunities, and it all gets mixed together. And eventually your thinking becomes very, very noisy. And that's actually a reason why I built the Central Code OS system, which is a combination of both subjective and objective data as a central operating system for your company, which is what I run my entire company on now and also what I give to clients. But looking at Claude is brilliant at taking mental chaos and then creating structure. Sometimes I literally dump pages of messy thoughts into it and then ask what the real priorities are here. What is unnecessary? What's the bottleneck? What would you simplify? What am I avoiding? Those questions are incredibly valuable because clarity compounds. When your thinking improves, decision making improves, communication improves, Execution improves. This is where Claude stops feeling like a chatbot and starts feeling like a strategic thinking partner. That is completely different in terms of relationship standpoint. Most people use Claude, right, as a basic like one conversation at a time. If you're a high level user, you're going to build it into an actual system, and systems are where real leverage will actually live. Let's say that you've just finished a client meeting. The average user might ask, summarize these notes. Fine, helpful. High level user, different approach. They say create client action plans, the team updates, the next steps, the follow-up emails, the risk, the opportunities, the onboarding checklist. Now, one meeting becomes an entire workflow. That's leverage. And this one, right, can happen everywhere. I mean everywhere. Sales calls, recruitment, content, research, internal communication, onboarding, documentation. The business is getting huge value from AI and not doing magical things. They're doing boring things exceptionally well, removing friction, reducing repetition, making work easier. And honestly, I think people are massively overcomplicating AI. Businesses don't need 47 tools, 1,000 prompts, crazy level automations. They need a smoother system. That is where the money lives. And this might be the biggest mindset shift of all, in my opinion. Treat Claude like someone that you hired yesterday. Because if you hired an incredibly intelligent employee, would you just shout instructions at them? No. You'd explain things, provide examples, give feedback, answer questions, refine expectations. That's exactly how a high-level power user will interact with Claude. They don't just expect perfection immediately. They will iterate, they will collaborate, they will coach it. Because honestly, sometimes Claude will produce complete rubbish. We've all had it happen. A detailed prompt, lots of context, and somehow absolute nonsense comes back. That doesn't mean Claude is broken. It means that collaboration isn't finished. Good managers don't give up on employees after one draft. They refine, clarity, adjustment, and guide. And that's the same mindset completely will change how you use AI. One of my favorite things to do is to basically tell Claude, interview me first. Ask me questions before responding. Now suddenly it's gathering information, it's clarifying assumptions naturally, and it's understanding the actual goal. And that's what a good employee will do. You'll know this. And that's why high-level users get much better outcomes, because they're directing, they are not commanding. There's a massive difference. So what does someone who uses Claude better than 99% of people actually look like? It's not someone writing enormous prompts. It's not someone building ridiculous automations. It's usually someone whose work simply feels calmer. Their ideas will become clearer faster. Their meetings will turn into actions quicker. Communication will improve and decisions become easier. Repetitive work will just start to disappear. Their business has less friction. That's what elite AI usage actually looks like. Not look what AI created, but look how much easier everything has become for us. That is the real transformation. So if you're remembering nothing else from this video, remember these 5 areas. Stop asking questions and start assigning jobs. Stop starting from zero every single day. Use Claude to think, not just to produce. Build systems instead of one-off chats. And treat Claude like somebody but you hired yesterday. That is the biggest thing. You are training a person and working with a person. Because honestly, the gap between average AI users and exceptional AI users isn't technical. It's behavioral. They are using the exact same tools. They've just learned how to collaborate with them differently. And I genuinely think that this is going to become one of the biggest competitive advantages over the next few years. But a quick one before you go. If everything still runs through you, let's just say that, it's honestly because your systems aren't in the right place. And most of the time, people have the systems scattered into different subscriptions, different AI and things all over the place, and they've got 25 different sheets that aren't communicating with each other. So what I built is a system called Titan Code OS, and it's a central operating system, which is basically going to manage every single thing in your company, from your content marketing operations, your KPIs, your goals, your growth plans, all built into one centralized system rather than having everything scattered all over the place, and you can actually communicate directly with it. It's taken me the last 12 months to build and a substantial amount of money. And it's what I use to run my own and scale my own company now, and also what I give to clients. And on top of that, when it comes to people having their own independent Claude system set up properly, I remove guesswork altogether because I give people the exact copy and paste SOPs for setting up projects and co-work at high level, which is what I've been studying for the last few years. There's no guesswork. It's just straight into actions and straight into results and straight into what the only thing is right now with AI intelligence, and that is predictable growth. And most importantly, for you to get a bit of time freedom back to actually start enjoying the life that you've built around your business as well. And I'd love for you to find out more about what we do at the Coach Consultant. And if you do want to find out more, there's an apply link in the description. I read every single one, and I hope to see you on a call.